Blpa Big Show. Hockey, sports, life for the adult athlete. Powered by the Beer League Players Association. Follow us at the BLPA.
Everybody, just follow.
Keep connected with us. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. You dig that?
Follow
On every social media outlet. And make sure you follow the crew on Twitter. Nick at Nicker Jones. Jason at Beer League Jason. And Brooklyn at BLPA Brooklyn. Let's get it.
Don't mind me just having my morning Combini coffee. But welcome to the greatest sports show in the world. Good week, everybody. Hey, I don't know if you know this. We're in Japan right now.
Woo.
I'm in Japan. Brooklyn's in Japan. Obviously, Jason is not with us. I sent him a message. Hey, we're gonna get to do a shorty. See if he pops on. But Brooklyn is literally like right. Can you hear my banging right there, Brooklyn?
Yeah, I can hear you talk too. Double. It's like 3D.
Oh, double Nick. Okay, but we're in Japan and we just wanted to hop on. I wanted to do more podcasting in Japan, but the time difference just fucking crazy. I mean, it's hard to arrange when we're in the same country, or same continent, North America. But to do it in Japan and Nashville, a little tough with all the stuff Jason's got going on. But Brooklyn, can you tell the people where they can find us?
Yeah, you can find us at the BLPA on Instagram, Facebook, and I think TikTok too now. We're big TikTok guys now.
Big TikTokers.
And
I mean,
then
all the people in Japan are watching us on the
Yeah.
BLPA TikTok. So we need the Americans to watch us and the Canadians. Actually, we need everyone to watch us. So you go follow TikTok. Like we just got some thing where we got all these live creator tools, and I think we can jump on and do some cool things on that. So, yeah. So you can find us everywhere. You can find Brooklyn, BLPA Brooklyn, over on what that Twitter. Find me on
Twitter and Instagram, yeah.
And Instagram. And I'm
Yeah.
Nicker Jones on Twitter or X, I guess is what we're going to call it. And the Nicker Jones on Instagram. So we're going to tell you a few things about Japan. We're going to tell you what's going on. We're going to make an announcement. We might give away some things if people come in here and ask us questions. We can give away souvenirs. I got 10 souvenirs from Donkey, which is Don Quixote, which is the store Brooklyn loves in Japan, right?
Huge fan. I have to like pace myself because I am obsessed.
Konnichiwa, Blue Shoe Magoo, right on there. My favorite guy on YouTube, best username. We're also going to bring in a couple players as they come in. Like I know Dan's waiting right there, waiting patiently in the wings. But I want to do a live. I want to do a live bench burgers right here because I found something new when I went to Lawson's. By the way, Lawson's is one of the convenience stores, like 7-Eleven, Family Mart. It's right down the street. Konnichiwa, all that. I found this. It's the first time I've ever seen it. And listen, I love Hershey's. I love chocolate. Strawberries, all right. But I love donuts as a whole. So I figure, you know what? Live bench burgers right on the old podcast. Give the fans what they want. Oh, it's a nice little soft. I don't like that they have this guy. It's wrapped up. And this looks like I got a donut condom.
Ooh, a little moisture trap. It's like they have that on meat.
Oh, they got that on meat too? Yeah. Well, this isn't meat. I can tell you that much. All right, here we go. Well, here's the deal with Japan. Their sweets are not sweet. It's like a muted sweet. Wouldn't you say that? Like, it's good, but it's like I think what happens in America, they load up all this bullshit to get you addicted to it because it's like a full sweet rush. Here's just a slow burn. But on this guy, doesn't really taste like chocolate, doesn't really taste like strawberry. I can't explain it. I don't know why. It's actually not dry. It's actually very moist. I know people had a problem with that word, but look, it's actually like really moist. If you guys can see that. But nonetheless, on my list of Japan sweets, that's way down the list. I hate to give 2 harsh reviews in a row after we knocked off that Mickey D's one. I don't know if we posted that one yet, but we'll post that. But just so you guys will know, the Mickey D's review. But anyway, I'm gonna give that. I'll give that a 5.3. 5.3. It's not bad, but it's not really good. All right. So Japan. We're in Japan. We had a tournament. I got to go over a lot of questions people had about the tournament. But before I go over that, I want to bring in Dan. So as soon as I see your face in the screen, I'm gonna. Oh, here he is. He's coming right in. So this is Dan. There he is. Dan,
So,
are you there? There's Dan. There he is, right there. What's up, Dan?
Hey,
so
Dan.
how you doing, man?
Hey, Dan. We didn't connect last night, but when I posted this on WhatsApp, I don't want to blow up your spot or anything. But the thing is, Nick, how do you feel about BLPA 90-day fiance asking for a friend? The friend is Dan. Anyone still up? I've had 6 Red Bulls, and Dan is passed out in this cab. So why don't you tell us what happened last night that had all this our WhatsApp group going?
All right. Well, first off, we ended up at a gay bar.
Okay,
Was
perfect.
my choice.
Your choice?
What?
It was your choice?
It was not my choice.
Oh, gotcha.
We just
Okay.
we ended up there. It wasn't exactly posted on the sign. So we were hanging out and start talking to the Japanese people next to us. And this dude, he's basically trying to pimp out his 26-year-old niece who wants to marry an American guy.
Right on. Let's go.
Nice.
So she was siling all up to me and be like, "Oh, you're so handsome" and stuff. So
Was she
you
cute?
know, she was very cute. She's a very
Okay.
cute girl.
Well,
So
you could have a play here.
this could be it. This could be the start of I don't know much about the premise of 90 Day Fiance. I never watched it, but this sounds like what it would be.
Yeah, I think you get engaged in 90 days. Brooklyn, do you know anything about 90-day fiance? No.
No, I don't.
Let's hasten the timeline. Let's do 30-day spouse.
Here we go.
Or when
That'll
do you
do it.
leave?
Tomorrow.
But let's do 1 day spouse. Let's get married tonight. Let's do it. Let's do it. She wants an American. You're American. We can do it.
That's
well,
gonna be the way
I
it's
mean-
gonna have to play.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of get people on as we go through the next couple of weeks of the podcast, just to talk about Japan, because I think that there were some issues with the tournament. No, the tournament was fun. I mean, we had a blast and all that stuff, but I meant issues in terms of getting people to sign up. And I think the issue mainly limited itself, 1, the flight costs were expensive, but 2, going to a complete different country where you don't know the language, you don't know the customs, and being able to have the ability to step outside your comfort zone and do that. And I think that's kind of what held a lot of people back from this Japan tournament. So I want to kind of get all the players that aren't me, because I'm obviously going to talk great about things, but talk about the players and your experience in Japan, what you liked about it. I mean, obviously you're getting married today, so that's nice. But outside of that, like what did you like? What did you dislike? And let's talk a little bit about your experience.
Number 1 is the food. Wagyu beef, man, for the win.
Yeah.
I'll eat Wagyu beef all day. You can't get that shit back home. The pricing just blows it out of the water what you can get. The service too, man. People are so much. I mean, coming from New Jersey, people are more friendly here, even though they can't speak your language. So you overcome those hurdles. It's not really that big of a deal. It's a little stressful when you first get here, but you overcome the hurdle of the language barrier and realize everybody's just trying to help you. Some people speak basic English in the touristy areas, so it's not really a huge deal.
And Google
but other than
Translate.
Food. What?
Google Translate. I mean,
Google Translate works
They
too.
use it. We use it. Like we were using it back and forth in cabs with the drivers. I mean, it was a little weird watching them be on their phone while driving into oncoming traffic, but we didn't die, so we're good. But yeah, I mean, the food is incredible. But yeah, the language barrier is not that big of an issue.
And the sites, man, the sites are great. I mean, I'm sure you've probably checked out some of the shrines while you were here.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the scenery, some of like the gardens and the parks are awesome. The architecture is great. And really just walking around and like going to the different districts. I mean, the Golden Guy over here in Shinjuku, the Shibuya's got a nice little district just with some bars. It's a lot of fun to hang around in, different kind of experience.
Well, as a New Jersey guy, I know you probably don't like to talk about New York, but it is so close. But that's what one person asked me, like in our TikTok live when I was walking around Shinjuku last night. They said, what do you like better for the sites, Japan or New York? And I said, listen, I love New York. Times Square is good, and there's a lot of cool things in New York. But the thing about Japan is like, it's like a Times Square in every small city. Like it's like Shinjuku has its place, Shibuya has its place, Ginza has its place. Like all these cities are kind of built around those subway stations, and they all have their own like unique personality. And like sure, there's like the 7 boroughs in New York, and they probably have that, but in Japan, it just seems like there's way more things to see and do that rather than New York.
It really is. I mean, it's the biggest city in the world. So yeah, you got your Shinjuku, Shibuya, Ikebukuro. We were the other night, and then you can go up to Asakusa. I was in Akasaka. I mean, there's so many different places that, yeah, kind of like the boroughs of Manhattan, or I'm sorry, the boroughs of New York have their different flair, we'll say. So it's almost like a whole different subculture within each of those places. Akihabara is a much different place too than the others. So yeah, it's like there's many different areas of Tokyo, and you can't really group them together to say Shibuya is the same as Akihabara.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, and then there's like Roppongi, which is like a big party district as well. There's so much stuff to do, and that's why with Dan here as my witness in front of God and everybody, we're going to come back here in October of 2025, and I'm going to do it in a way that it kind of solves that problem of people wondering how do I do stuff by myself. We're just going to do it as a BLPA worldwide. We're going to plan everything for you. And we're going to have a really good time. It's going to be in October of 2025 is what we're shooting for. And we're going to come here. We're going to play 4 or 5 games against local players at rinks around Japan. And we're going to experience it. So I'm super stoked about doing something like that. And I think that, like you said, that does alleviate, even though for me and you and Brooklyn, like those issues of getting around and stuff, for me, that's the exciting part to me. To get out and be like, well, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I'm going to figure it out. And we did figure it out. I mean, we got lost a couple times in the subway. They turned off our Sika cards because we went through a subway instead of the train, and we did the Sika card. But then we were in the wrong place. So we tried to get out, but it wouldn't let us out because I guess we had just went through. So we just jumped the turnstiles and went through. And so
it's taboo here.
And so then yesterday when we went to go to the subway, it wouldn't scan our Sika card, and we had to like go to the desk and be like, we made a mistake. And the guy was basically like, stupid foreigners. He didn't say that, but he just was like, and he just fixed our phone, and then we were off and running. But I think being able to go as a group, as like Team BLPA to play other teams, but also be as a group through all these places, I think will be way easier to get people on board to try Japan, because everyone needs to try Japan at least one time. I mean, it's so awesome. Dan's going to be a citizen after today, so I mean, I'm pretty excited. About that. So, but any I don't want to keep you on here too much, Dan, because I know that's your last day and you got to go do some things with your fiance. But what's your worst thing about Japan?
Oh man, that's a tough one. What's the worst thing about Japan? There's I want to touch quickly on a great thing, because we went to a comedy show last night. I wanted to put that out there. We had a ball in time at this comedy show, and we got to see a guy. You've probably seen him on YouTube. His name is Wes P. He does like these weird naked like tablecloth tricks. It's hilarious, but I could post some of the videos later. But going back to worst thing, you know what? There's not really much I can say bad about Japan. Maybe the fact that sometimes you wake up in Shinjuku, which is, given Japan overall is such a clean and safe place, but Shinjuku, man, you wake up some days and it's like there's trash everywhere. It's just a very odd place. So yeah, I mean, I can say maybe that would be the only thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really a lot of negative coming out of Japan for sure. I obviously, like as I said, the most exciting part is for me is the unknown and the having to jump through some hoops to do things that you want to do. But I think the having to rely on like Google Maps, because you don't know where you're going, and like when you get into like sometimes a city, Google Maps just goes fucking haywire, and you're walking this way, then all of a sudden you're supposed to be walking the complete different way. That's probably the only negative thing. Oh, look who's gonna big Dustin's gonna join us next too. I'm pretty stoked about it. But yeah, so not much. So overall, your trip seems to have been a success, eh? Success. Yeah, man. Awesome, Dan.
Yeah, I gotta go get my tux rental pretty soon.
Yeah, well, that's good. Hey, speaking of, I sent it in the WhatsApp chat, but Erica, who you brought to that you hung out with the game, was hanging out with us.
Yeah.
I know you know her. I gave her my card because she speaks perfect English because she lived there for so long. But I think she'd be a great contact for us when we're doing the BLPA worldwide. So if you could connect us in any way, that would be great.
Yeah, it'd be helpful for you.
All right, buddy. All right, well, we'll see you later, buddy. Have a good last day in Japan. Maybe we'll see you. What time's your flight leave tomorrow?
3:25 p.m.
Okay, we're at 2:15, so we'll probably see you somewhere at the airport, eh?
Yeah, I might run into you over there.
All right, Dan. We'll see you later, buddy. Have fun. Maybe we'll hang out tonight. Who knows? See you later.
Okay, take it easy.
Right. Thank you. All right, we're gonna bring in Big Dusty, Dustzilla, as we could call him. We didn't get him the Godzilla. I bought a Godzilla mask for this guy, but this guy, listen, he's gonna come in and he's gonna be fucking on one because this guy had a trip. I was following his trip. I get excited for these trips on my own, but I was following his shit on Facebook and I was like, this guy's just having fucking about serious. Big D.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you, but
All
look, this guy just got a setup and everything. He knows what's going on. Hey, Dustin, you just got back. Oh wait, Andrew's chirping us. Andrew, I thought we did add you to the WhatsApp group. That's my B. We did it all. Where did we do that? We did it at dinner. That's probably why, because Mandy didn't want to pay for expensive meat. That's probably why. Andrew, text me your cell phone number and I'll add you to the WhatsApp group.
I wasn't on it either, just saying.
Oh, well, you were there at the dinner too, because you ate. Can we just talk about the funniest part of the trip so far? When we went to we were in Kaizawa and we went for like the group dinner on Friday night, and they brought out this barbecue grill. That's where you cook the meat. We got 4 people, and they give you this piece of meat fat, and you rub it around to just kind of season the old grate so stuff won't stick to it. And Dustin thought that was the first course of the meal.
Yeah.
Just fucking ate it.
They put it in front of me, and I put it on the grill, and Amy was moving it around, just seasoning the grill like you said, but I didn't know what it was for. I thought she was just being nice and cooking it for me. Put it back on the plate, and I was just like, "Oh yeah," ate it. I was like, "Wow, that's really fatty."
You're like, "Wow, this Kobe beef, this Wagyu.
Yeah.
Wow, I know about the fat." It was just one big piece of fat. That's what it was.
Yeah,
but I bet it was good. I mean, the fat does taste good.
Yeah, it was tasty.
But then we had a very good meal. But Dusty, you probably when we were talking about like the Japan trip, when you as myself, when I create tournaments for players, and when I do certain locations, there's always like certain players that you're kind of creating that experience for, and this one was you.
Oh.
Just so you'll know. I brought up Japan, and you were always so super stoked about it, and so like that the theme then came from like, okay, Big Dusty's going. He says we got to do anime. What are we gonna do? Then we did the Dragon Ball, and so I just want to let you know that these trips, like when I fulfill what I want to do with this life and create cool stuff and cool experiences for hockey players, this certain experience was for people like you, and I appreciate you being here, and I hope you had a good time.
I had a great time, yeah, and it was definitely felt that it felt very catered to me. So I mean, the Dragon Ball theme alone, but just Japan's something I've wanted to do since I was about 11, 12, and 37 now. So I finally made it. Looking forward to going again because, man, for as much time as I had to plan, I only scratched the surface. I barely saw most of Tokyo, let alone Japan. So
it's so hard. Like Brooklyn and I, like we're staying in Shinjuku both times, and it's like you almost don't even have to leave, or even if you do leave, like you go 1 or 2 stops away to figure some things out. And that's why I was like, okay, we got to go back, but I want to do it. I want to do it more in the BLPA worldwide style, to where we're all as a group kind of hanging out, because I think we all got lost. Like Tony and them were doing one thing, and like Andrew and Mandy were doing one thing, and then Brooke and I were doing one thing. But I think a lot, and listen, I want people to have their own experience too, but I think a lot of the experience, the coolest part for me has been when we've all been hanging out at a group, whether it's the group dinner or when when like 5 or 6 of us, well, it ended up being 4, but it was really supposed to be 5 or 6 of us went to the Omakase, and then when like 10 of us were at the ball game, those are the things that I found the most fun in Japan. And the ball game, but listen, the ball game was funny because we all got seats together.
So small.
And listen, I'm not a small guy either, but like Dusty is definitely not a small guy, and Brooklyn's not small either. And we're all sitting in a row, and just like we're like on top of each other, like just doing this. Like Dusty was basically like, once I get in this seat, I'm here for the ball game, and yeah, it was fun. It was a fun time.
That was one of the most intense crowd experiences I've ever had with a sporting event. I mean, I've been to when Stipe defended his title in Cleveland, like that was crazy, but it's not like it was crazy the whole time. I mean, these were just chanting and singing from both teams the whole time. I mean, there's nothing like it. I think probably closest would be a football game, like in UK.
Oh, like soccer? Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, that's what you like. We don't have anything like it in America. And listen, I'm a college football guy, and the college football atmosphere in North American sports is second to none.
Agreed.
If you have good teams, like Oklahoma, obviously we have such a rich college football tradition, and so when you go to their games, like it's not just a game, right? It's a all day experience, and maybe the baseball wasn't an all day, but there is not many college football games I can remember where the fans were just electric the whole time. Like maybe Oklahoma, Texas Tech, whenever Texas Tech came in and they were ranked 1 or 2 and we beat them, that we were up the whole time. That one, Oklahoma, Texas, always a big one. But this was just a regular season game on a Thursday, right?
Yeah, that was like tournament level energy from both teams.
Yeah, it was, and you're just like, okay, let's go. And they never stopped. They never stopped. And we got lucky. We got to extra innings. We got to see some extra baseball. But what blew my mind about Japanese baseball is after 12 innings, you're just like, fuck it, we're done, tie. Yeah. And you're like, what? Who wins?
I left at the top of the 11th because I just couldn't do it anymore. My hips are actually bruised from those seats. Yeah.
We got we were like in a box seat section. Like if you would have just went like 3 rows up and behind the little walkway, like they were like open seats with like gaps in between them.
That would have been nice.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know. And I think you could have just sat there. Like no one would have said anything. And what are they going to do? Remove you? Like, I mean, but yeah. So, well, just like Dan, I mean, Dan was just on here and was kind of telling us, Dan's getting married here because he met some guy that's trying to pimp out his niece last night. So he's going to get married to her, I think. But you're already married, so no such luck for you. So what was your favorite part of Japan? Like if you were to say, hey, this is why you got to go to Japan with BLPA, what would you tell them?
I mean, honestly, for BLPA stuff, I would say just meeting the local players and playing with them, and just I forget his name, Tadashi.
I don't know which one.
Yeah, the older gentleman. He was just so pumped to be able to play hockey with people and like share his passion. Someone would get the puck, he's yelling shoot from the bench, and like he's just excited, and the way he was skating, like I loved that, like seeing that passion from him, and even the other Japanese players too, like even the younger not so skilled players.
Yes, Soto, Hiroki.
We're just excited to be there and happy to play with us. So kind of circling that back around, just the people in general, like they're all super nice. Like just as long as you're a good person and not a horrible tourist, like they're going to be good to you.
Like I always hear like, and maybe they are, like the Japanese people are racist and they don't like the gaijins. And I have not had an experience here where people were rude in any sense. And like I'm a pretty big advocate of just talking to people. Like even if I don't know their language, like I'll English and then I'll talk to them and translate. And I've went up to people, like even yesterday, like we went booked head massage, Brooklyn and I, and we were coming down and there was a younger Japanese woman that had a shirt that said "fugly," and we thought it was funny, right? And so we started talking to her, and she's like, "Oh, joke," and we're like, "Oh, it's funny," and this means in our fucking ugly. And we think it's funny, and she's like, "Oh, funny." She might go burn the shirt because she might think she's walking around saying she's fugly. But I mean, everyone has been pretty open. Like even when we like go to the restaurant, like last night we had like really late night sushi or ramen. We had late night ramen, and the guy was trying to ask us questions, and we're like, "Wow, we don't know, just food." He's like, right. "Oh, food," and and so everyone's been insanely great. It would help if I knew more Japanese. I think it would enhance the experience if I could learn Japanese. So maybe I was thinking about jumping on Duolingo to learn some Italian, even though I know some Latin already, and some Scandinavian. But I think I'm just gonna ride it out with Japanese and try to be able to at least have some sort of conversational skills next year.
Yeah, and I will say a good example of kind of the culture, at least in Tokyo. I went on an excursion with a group of people. There was like Denmarkians, Canadians. There's one other American. We went drinking in Shibuya, and then once the excursion was over, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go over to a club." And so did that at 37. Went to like a VIP style club, danced my heart out, and finally partied out. But I left my backpack with one of the other people in a locker I didn't have a key to. So I walked out, realized that, and was just like, well, I'll just hang out in the alley across the street. I'll tell you what, the alleyway was one of the most rich experiences I had, just meeting people. Like, you see someone my size in an alleyway in America, they're turning the other way. But in here, they were just like, oh, hey, like come up and talk to me and stuff. So, yeah, it's very, very friendly place to be.
Did you have any negative connotation or aspects or any negative experiences in Japan?
Honestly, not really. There was a lot of people saying that people were going to ask to take pictures with me and stuff. I didn't get any of that,
No.
but I did learn some phrases to listen for. People were talking about me, like my size behind my back. I heard a lot of that. And it was usually little kids, they don't have a filter. So they're walking by, and one of them will walk by, look up and go, "Sugoi," and I just smile at them, "Konnichiwa," and they just, walk away. So yeah, it was fun for me, but to a more introverted person that might be off-putting, but I like it. So
yeah. I mean, but it did. I mean, you're a large guy, right? So
right.
It just happens, right? I mean, it's nothing you can do about it, and but it's funny because everyone's like, oh, everyone's so small in Japan. Like, no, they're literally normal sized people.
Tiny.
Like, it's
so tiny there.
I mean, it's like that's what everyone thinks. Oh, you're gonna be like Nick. You're gonna be really tall in Japan. That's not true. Like, well, I'm just normal size.
Yeah,
normal size Nick.
Yep.
Here I am, normal size Nick-san. But yeah. So great, Dusty. I'm super stoked that you had such a good time, and I'm glad. I'm glad you're at least considering coming back for BLPA Worldwide. It'll be a different experience, obviously, because we kind of, like you said, scratched the surface. Like, we kind of stayed Tokyo, Karizawa. Those were like our two spots. And for me, next time, obviously, I want to go to Tokyo. I want to go to Sapporo. I want to go to Osaka and Kyoto and make our way down. I'd like to see Hiroshima and learn about the history. I'm a big history guy. So, to be able to do that kind of stuff and then experience that together with a group. And secondly, like, this one was kind of a bummer because the numbers were so low. I couldn't justify bringing my wife and kid. And so shout out to Tanis for dealing with Cooper, asking every day why he isn't in Japan with Dad. Obviously that sucks. I want them to be here, and BLPA Worldwide, they'll get to come and experience that too. Although I'm afraid Cooper is just going to want to go to Disney and nothing else. And I'm going to be like, no, we'll go to Disney one day, 2 days, but then we got to do other things, buddy. So yeah. Yeah, for sure. And other than that, anything you want to add to the peoples before I let you hop off? How are you feeling after your flight, by the way?
Tired. I've definitely been up past 24 hours at this point, but the most heartbreaking thing was when we got to Detroit. We ended up having to deplane because there was a problem with one of the front tires. So ended up making a 24-minute trip into an extra hour almost before I got home. But it is what it is. But yeah, I'm actually feeling pretty good for the most part.
Yeah, well, hopefully it took me about a week to get my sleep schedule back, and now you're gonna just turn around and go home and blow that thing out of the water again, eh? So, all right, buddy. Well, hey, like I said, appreciate it. I love you. I'm glad you came. I'm glad we got to help you knock something off the bucket list. And I mean, I know we'll see you soon, but yeah, thanks, buddy.
Yep, sounds good. Talk to you guys later.
Buddy. We'll see you later, Big Dusty.
Bye.
What a guy! What a guy, man! And that's I mean it when I say, like, when there's people like you create these things. Like, obviously I like to go and do things, all that, but like to be able to create stuff and see like people like Dusty wanting to do it for how many years. That's really gets me right in the old feels right here. So thank you, Dusty, for letting me have the opportunity to knock something off your bucket list. So, okay, so we got one more day, Brooklyn. What's on the docket for us today?
Really, it's just a little treat yourself day, a little self-care.
Oh, okay.
Couple, like half an hour, gonna go get a facial. That's gonna get some Japanese skincare, feeling fresh in the face. Gonna go probably do some more shopping, and then going to get a nice little head massage.
Okay.
Little head spa, and then we're getting some photos taken so we can pretend to be models. Seeing as how no one wanted to take photos of us, we are having to get our own photos taken of
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell them that we had to pay for them. This is just our paparazzi. But
Yeah.
okay, the photos cool. Obviously, we can use them for BLPA worldwide. But really, my interest in it is to learn the history of Shinjuku, a little bit about what's going on. Because for us, we're just walking around looking at all this cool shit. I like to know the story behind things. So,
Mhm.
Just one question in the group for us. Any dates on the Spain, Portugal? Since you have dates for the Japan trip. Well, I don't have actual dates for the Japan trip, but I'm thinking October-ish of 2025. Brooklyn has been to Spain and / Portugal.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to go when we can get in the ocean, do some beach stuff. So we're going to try to plan it probably around a late summer, maybe like a mid to late August. Hopefully it's not too hot in that time, but I am working on that. Yeah, all the ideas sound really great, and then like as I think about them and the wheels start turning on how much work goes into them, I'm just like, that's a lot of them. But I do love doing it. So, and now we got Brooklyn to help. Now we're gonna have BLPA travel services, whatever. Might as well start it, the BLPA travel agency. But yeah, so I think Spain and Portugal. So obviously we have Italy, which we still have 2 spots for in October. We need a goalie and a player, and then we have Scandinavia on the BLPA worldwide, and then we have Spain and Portugal are working on. Japan. I also want to go back to Iceland. Is such a cool place to do, and if Cooper wasn't in school, we could do like one of these BLPA worldwides every month and just travel around as a family. But I can't homeschool them. Tanis can't homeschool them, so. Unless we just say, Cooper, listen, you're going to learn a life on the streets right here. It's hard knock life, bud. But yeah, so a lot of those. But then we got all the domestic, like all the international stuff is really fucking cool. But we have so much domestic stuff we gotta get. I mean, yeah, we got Boise, we got a Denver bash coming up in July. We got a Pittsburgh Dex. We got Austin. We got DC at the end of June. That's coming up soon. And yeah, so much. And then August, you hit the Dexes start up in full flash. We got October, Oklahoma City, first weekend of August, then Chicago. And then we have a Nashville, Lake Placid bash in August, and a Alaska Dex in August. And then in September, it goes Columbus Dex, Placid Dex, Hershey, Charleston. It's just, yeah, there's so much shit to go. Listen, I understand Pump Seattle. I love Seattle. I want to do Seattle. I wanted to do Bellingham, but Bellingham didn't work. But we just can't find a rink in the summer that will let us do, like the weekends that we had that we could do things. They weren't open. Like 4th of July weekend, which isn't even 4th of July weekend because 4th of July is on a Thursday. They're not open that weekend, or we could have done it. So we do got a lot of stuff. Chicago weekend is the Air and Water Show. Yeah, we ran into that one year before, but doesn't mean we can't play, Sue. Doesn't mean you can't sign up, Sue. Doesn't mean you're not going to be there, Sue. But anyway, so okay. Any more stuff to talk about? Listen, if you're watching this, just go to TikTok. Some of you are old fucks. I get it. Some of you are old fucks. It's all right. It's all right to be old. It's all right. We're not going to discriminate. Let's feel young. Right? Think young, be young, feel young, all that good stuff. So if you're think you're too old to have a TikTok, you're not. Go get your TikTok. Go follow BLPA just to help us out. So we can get 1,000. We get 1,000 followers to do some shit. We're halfway there. Listen, Sue's already signed up. Whoa, sorry, Sue. Sorry. Is Bill signed up? That's the big question. Wildman Bill, is Lolo signed up? I don't know. Listen, this chocolate bread I don't even know what it is. It's like brown chocolate bread with like a little bit of chocolate. I would literally buy 100 of these and put them in my bag, but I can't because we shipped our bags to the airport. Okay, what's the most exciting thing you're looking forward to today? Your last day in Japan.
I think the walking tour and the photos tonight. I think I'm most excited for that because I think we're gonna learn a lot. We're gonna have a lot of things to look back on. So I think it'll be good. What about you?
Well, I mean, the food here has been so insane. Like,
Yeah.
Listen, I've been on Ozempic for diabetes for a little while here, and it caused me to not eat. Right, I could eat like a few bites of things every so often. Cool. But I stopped taking Ozempic just for this trip for like 3 weeks ago, and I've been eating. I have been eating. Like leaving last night, like I wasn't hungry at all. Was not hungry at all. But I was like, listen, the ramen here is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna suck it up. And listen, I paid for it last night. My belly was hurting when I got back to the thing. Like not where I had diarrhea or I have had diarrhea while I was here, but that's another story. But just hurt full. Like, oh my God, I'm miserable, but so worth it because the food is so good. So I want to try some more Wagyu today at some point before we go. I don't know if I'm ramened out. Sushi, if we do sushi Otoro, I thought there'd be way more conveyor belt sushi places.
Yeah, that was shocking. There's like what we've seen 2 the whole
Yeah.
time.
If there I thought there would be so many that I couldn't eat there. I just have to walk in, grab one piece, and we'd make video. But like, there's none around Shinjuku. Like I've seen one. We went to that one. Was that downstairs where like it sends it out on the conveyor belt after you order it, but it doesn't like it's not like just rotating around like at Kinjo in Calgary, by the way. And so yeah, I don't. Brooklyn's gone. Oh, here she's back. Are you back? Brooklyn's internet. Are you on the Wi-Fi or are you on your phone internet? Anyway, so yeah. So I think for me, it's the food, obviously. Yeah, I mean, we've looked through a lot of thrift stores. What I really like about see you later, Brooklyn. What I really like about the thrift stores, and listen, if you're on TikTok and you've been watching all these TikToks where you see like all these great deals on like designer bags and all that stuff, there are a lot of designer bags. The deals aren't as great as what they show you on TikTok, and they're not as plentiful. I mean, there are a lot of designer bags, but like the deals aren't as plentiful. But the thrift stores here are wild because I could basically go to like 20-year-old me's closet, come over to Japan and sell every single bit of it, and people would go wild for it. Like, have you ever seen used Levi's for $100? No, but that's what they have in Japan. So if you want to fund your trip, bring a second suitcase full of Levi's. They love them. They love them here. You know, so, but I've also seen a lot of cool Japanese denim. Like we were in that Karizawa place and I had a jean shop in there where they make the jeans. And I thought about buying some, but then I was like, you know what? I've got enough clothes. Although I like clothes, I got enough clothes. So, and I'm also big on Japanese rap music now. So I don't know if you've heard any, but there's a song here called Team Friends, Todomachi. I've just been fucking vibing right here in my room. Just Team Todomachi. I'm Team Friends right here. So other than that, anything that you want to add before we hop off here? Oh wait, how long have we been going? For 40 minutes. I mean that's a decent one. Bling bang bang born. That's my guy, Creepy Nuts. That's his name. That's it. Oh, speaking of music, wildest thing ever. So right around the corner from our hotel, not right around the corner, but it's 3-minute walk right by the McDonald's. There's like this, like they have big screens on the side of the buildings, right? Big screens. And I'm walking back from getting like a baseball hat and baseball jerseys so we can go to the game because I'm a huge Swallows fan, by the way, #1 Swallows fan. There's literally hundreds of females, hundreds. All right. Dan's dream. All right. Dan could have got married to someone else there. Right. And they're all looking at the screens with their phones. Right. And so I'm like, what the fuck's going on? They're literally filming watching a music video right there, like hundreds of them. It was good jam. But I was like, what the fuck is going on? And people like, I asked someone like, yeah, that's regular occurrence. I'm like, can't they just go on their computer and watch it? Like, I don't understand. They're like, well, when you see someone you like on the screen outside, you film it. I'm like, that just seems so wild to me. And then it made me think how crazy it is, how big an entertainer like Elvis Presley was without like the internet and having like that kind of stuff. And like everyone around the world knew Elvis, but he didn't have like people, standing outside of a subway station filming them with a smartphone and sharing it, right? So crazy shit. So all right, anything else to add before? I know you gotta get running in like 15 minutes.
No, I think no, I'm pretty good.
We'll have a more in-depth when we get back and we can talk to Jason about things, and I'll list out things that I want to talk about. But so far, here's the rating on Japan. Infinity out of 10.
Yep.
Infinity.
Oh,
Infinity.
Yeah.
So it's been a great time. So, all right, guys. Well, we're going to hop off here. We're going to enjoy our last day, but we do have a lot of content backed up to be posting. A lot of it goes on TikTok first. Please, for the love of God, go follow us on TikTok. Go follow us on all the spots. We're trying to make money. We got to get Jason. Unless you're going to support me over here with that QR code, the only way we can do it to get Jason paid and Brooklyn paid is to make money on social media. And listen, we made $100 on Facebook last month. 103 Woo! As a matter. $103 on Facebook. And that's led to a new segment. It's where we give all $103 to Jason. Then he gambles it. And we see what, like, and I'm not talking like gambling like me. Like I'm talking about he's gonna like do some money line and some sports betting, and we'll see what we can do. All right, BLPA bets. You know what? Sue has commented on every TikTok. And listen, we're giving away a free draft experience. Brooklyn is tomorrow. She'll decide on the plane ride home, and when we land in Seattle or Calgary, she's going to announce who wins. So you better go comment on all those TikToks and Reels for a free one. Other than that, guys, anything to add?
Nope.
Follow us, like us, wish you were in Japan. Sign up for the other ones or you're going to miss out. Be good or be good.